Hello and welcome to Straight Talk Real Estate Reality with your hosts Joe
and Darren
of Urban Hillsides Real Estate, here to answer your pressing questions on real estate here in Los Angeles. Darren, we got a timely question from a client about El Nino, the dreaded weather phenomenon that we keep hearing about and we know will happen. So he wanted to know, how can he protect his home now rather than discover later?
It's a very serious topic. Water does more damage to homes than any other element. So it's always worth investigating to protect your home, even outside of heavy rain patterns.
Well, we sell a lot of hillside homes, so...
We do, and although both hillside and flatlands are conducive to water damage, hillsides particularly have issues of making sure runoff gets off the property and away from the structure on the property. One quick thing I want to note about homes in heavy rain patterns is that there is flood insurance is a secondary insurance that exists, and many people don't quite know what that covers.
Right.
It's actually more about what your regular insurance does cover. So if water comes from the sky and hits your property directly, any damage it may do is caused by or is covered by your traditional insurance.
Got it.
If it hits the ground first and then somehow makes its way in, it is not covered, and that is only covered by flood insurance.
That is flood. Got it.
Yes.
Well, I know for myself here at my house, I have to pay flood insurance because it's a flood zone. It's like 3% chance in like 25 years.
Right.
This might be the year, of course, where I have to pay it. But if you're not in a flood zone, you can easily buy flood insurance yourself.
You can.
That's fine.
The cost is usually about the same cost of your traditional policy.
Okay.
This may be the year to consider buying it, although I don't know where they're going to be at with rates, knowing what's coming.
Sure. Okay, well, let's get into it. So, just starting from the top down, how do we protect our house?
Sure. So the first thing to look at is the roof. I think it's the most obvious. But there are a couple things there. Certainly if you have a flat roof, there's usually one or two ways for water to get off your roof. You want to make sure those channels are cleared. Otherwise you'll have a pool on your roof that'll enter your house.
Right, so leaves, all that stuff, got to clear it, got to get that debris out of there.
A kid's ball blocking, and that's all it takes.
Wow,
man.
you're right.
So, I mean, it should be checked every year.
Okay.
But yeah, that's number one. Number two, maybe on a more traditional roof, you want to check your gutters, make sure they're cleared out. Waters can move through those and get away. At the bottom of the gutters, you want to make sure the downspouts are turned away from the foundation, so they're not pouring on the foundation wall.
Now that would also include any sort of seals on the roof, or as you're saying, the rain gutters. Make sure that they're solid and they're clean.
Right. And the seals on the roof are typically, there's a mastic component which will wear over a couple years' time. Very easy fix, but could cause a lot of damage if it's not fixed. The next thing is the windows. Particularly on Spanish homes, there's no eave overhang whatsoever. Actually, the stucco curves into the window, and it pulls water in. A lot of damaged wood windows on Spanish homes. One thing you can do to mitigate that partially is to make sure you have screens. It wicks the water away. It's that simple.
Okay. All right.
Working down planter beds near houses. You want to make sure they have the best drainage possible. They typically don't build houses with planter beds adjacent anymore because the water will pool at the foundation.
Got it.
Retaining walls, you want to, ideally they have drainage built into them when they were constructed, or you can add drainage weep holes to make sure they drain the best they can in heavy rains.
Okay.
Then you deal with foundation, and then the components around the foundation. If there's a separation in the concrete on a walkway, it could create a channel to collect water. Foundation, which is bad, those are easily fixed. Or even sloping walkways towards the foundation will pull water into a walkway.
Okay. So really just build up, whether it's dirt or concrete or whatever, and make sure that water's going away from the house as opposed to into the house.
The long-term solution is to regrade them away, but there are short-term solutions.
Got it. Okay. Looking broader outside of the house, then there's also hillside erosion that you have to be careful of with the hillside.
Definitely. And that's where you want to make sure water has ways to get off. In heavy rains, the water won't all absorb into the soil. They'll stay on the surface and they'll create channels and rivers. And just make sure that gets away from the house as it starts moving.
Good stuff. Well, these are definitely some good points. There are a lot more details in it that can be covered by someone who can come in, check your home, maybe a contractor who will look at all these issues and probably find a couple more to help you protect your home. An offer to you from us is we do have the resources to get someone out to your home and do a walkthrough and be very thorough about it and give you a report on what you should do to, again, protect yourself from El Nino. So that's it for this week. Straight Talk, Real Estate Reality will return in a week or so. Thanks so much and have a good week.
Bye-bye.
Take care.